Oh, shit.
There it is. There it is. Oh, man. You, you can't control it. It's the music. It takes a hold of you.
I am compelled.
Well, it's in your bones. It's in your body. It's in your chair. With that, hi, it's Thursday. I'm Joe. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful friend Majid Padelin. Brooklyn Dad Defiant. This is the Joe and BDD show. We've got so much to get to today. Holy crap. Some days there's nothing going on. Some days there's everything. We are going to start with the good news, which we have a terrible lack of in this universe. That is the New York Knicks historic 29-point deficit comeback and win last night. Okay, Sam, just play the clip of the shot that ended the game, please.
See that? Oh, yeah. I was mad. I said, "Are you watching this game? It feels like the Biden-Trump debate."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. That's accurate.
That was early. That was early on when we were getting our asses handed to us. We went down like by 29 points.
Yeah.
But I kept reminding my son. I was like, this team is that same team that came back from a 22-point deficit. Don't forget, they can do it.
Yep.
And even I didn't believe it at one point, but I stuck, firm. And holy cow. I think it made a difference that they got that bad mojo out of the building.
Again,
right?
Let's remember, they had won 13 games straight. And
Yep.
Donald Trump showed up and they lost. The only game
First
they've
game.
lost since April.
First game in 13 games, and his sleepy ass, he had the audacity to make a big deal, right? Everybody got inconvenience. They had to arrive 2 hours early, get searched like they're going through the airport.
Yeah.
And his ass fell asleep. He fell asleep.
Yep.
And then left early.
Yeah.
Jackass.
Sure did. Yeah. And the vibes were all fucked up, right? Like everything was off. You could feel it. The city was off. The fans were blocked from being able to be at the watch parties that they've had at the Garden. They didn't have it yesterday. That's a whole nother conversation because just like Donald Trump, the owner of the New York Knicks, the owner of Madison Square Garden, Dolan, is a piece of shit. And he made up some bullshit lies about Mamdani, but we're not even going to talk about that because
Oh, did he now?
Yeah, he did. He said that Mamdani was the one who canceled the watch party outside of Madison Square Garden last night.
Dumb. So
It wasn't
stupid.
true. Mamdani proved it wasn't true. But here's the thing. Well, Sam, in a sec, we'll play the clip of Trump getting booed because Trump also said he didn't get booed, and that the response to him was epic and whatever.
It was enthusiastic.
Yeah. And I'm a natural fucking blonde who never fucking swears. But last night's game, it really, like, Jess Craven doesn't talk about basketball that much, and I've never seen her talk about basketball, but I saw a video that she put up on Instagram yesterday or today, where she's talking about the kind of like story here, because there is a story here that's really cathartic and necessary and needed in this moment, which is, to your point, this team doesn't give up. Like, they have faced incredible adversity. 29 points. They were not just like a little bit dominated in the first half of this game. Their best player, second best player, Cat, had 2 fouls within the first minute of play. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's because the Knicks were not only playing against the Spurs, they were also playing against the refs who were trying to stretch this thing out 7 games. Everybody knows it. It's no secret.
Yeah. But they never quit. And the thing, too, that I love so much about them is that they always lift each other up, right? So it's so antithetical to every message out there coming from people like Donald Trump and all the fascists who want to divide us, and Donald Trump who says, I alone can fix everything. It's all about me. There is no I on that team. And I know that's such a cliche, but they don't play like individuals. Brunson, Cat, OG, they don't. And it's every game is somebody different stepping up and like just just being there in exactly the right moment. And last night, I have chills. I have chills.
Mm.
I have cried many, many times. And I don't know if you saw this, and I apologize to anybody who doesn't love basketball, but because we're just going to talk about it for a few more minutes because it was historic. But did you see on the inbounds play at the very, very end of the game after OG gets that shot? Cat
Mhm.
tipped it. He actually
Yeah.
tipped.
Yeah.
I didn't see it last night. I didn't see it until
If
today.
he hadn't have tipped that ball, the dude who failed to catch it might have
Castle.
caught it and had enough time
Yep.
to make the shot. So
Yeah.
yeah, he helped save that game too. Yeah, that was beautiful.
It really was, and, we need something to feel good about and something that makes it feel like a triumph and, whether or not you like basketball, there's a story in this, and also there's this cathartic moment of Trump being booed. Let's see that one.
Uh, mm.
I
You
think
got that, Sam?
Bright and bright stars through the perilous fights, where the ramparts we
I think it's
watched.
hard to hear. Can you hear it?
So here's my issue with that broadcast because that's the broadcast I was watching is ABC, but there's a different broadcast that had a different angle and different audio. So what I
Mm,
was complaining to my son about last night was like, if you've watched Knicks games on MSG, the
yep,
MSG network, right?
yep,
So the crowd noise is usually like booming, booming, booming.
yeah,
And it was muted
yeah,
last night. And I realized that, oh, these guys, Disney, ABC, or whatever, they're not showing this for Knicks fans. They're showing it for both. So
right,
they muted the crowd noise. So you couldn't hear it rocking the way it really was rocking.
yeah,
But other videos I've seen online, really, you can hear those boos are unmistakable and resounding. I just
yeah,
wanted to say about Wemby. At first I liked him,
yeah,
but that was before I saw this game, before I saw what he does, his MO with
mhm,
the elbows and
mhm,
the really nasty fouls. There's one, I don't know if you saw this video yet, but it's like Wemby attempts to stomp on OG
OG,
Ananobi's foot
knee,
or something. Or,
yeah,
yeah, it was horrible and it was blatant and they didn't even call it.
no,
He's
yeah.
getting away with a lot of crap. If he gets one more flagrant foul, he's
Yeah.
suspended
'Cause he
for
got
a
one last
game.
night, he got a 1 point last night, and he already has
Yeah,
2, which was a di we could get into that all day long, but he had a flagrant foul, against Brunson where he literally grabbed the back of his neck and pushed him down, and
yeah,
they didn't call it, they reviewed it the next day, and they still didn't give it a flagrant, which is insane to me, and I believe they
disgraceful.
didn't do that. But they didn't want him to not be in the game because if he'd gotten the 2-point flagrant, he woulda had to sit last night, and they didn't want that because it's good
Yeah.
dollar dollar bills, y'all. But it's a good story. They are an easy team to root for. Oh, Sam. I just as a side note, just speaking to the character, I
Mm.
think Sam has it. Brunson after the game wanted to talk about something first before he even talked about their victory. Sam,
Hmm.
if you don't have that, let me know. I put it in our chat of what.
One
Oh,
more
he
word
said 1 second.
about
Yeah.
Wemby. Didn't like how petty he was with that whole he was, when he was, trolling, I think it was Mitch Robinson. It was
Oh,
like, "I'm in your
yo.
head." Yeah, I was like, "Come on, man." You don't see any of the Knicks doing that shit. You don't see,
Mm-mm.
Brunson doing it. You don't
Mm-mm.
see Cat or
No.
Ananobi, Bridges, none of those guys. You don't see them doing any of that kind of those antics.
Here's Brunson. This is what he wanted to talk about last night after that game.
Um, Real quick before we get started, um, just want to say hearts and my thoughts and prayers are with a friend of mine I got to meet and talk to last week, Jonathan from North Carolina, from the Make a Wish Foundation and the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Um, he had a heart condition, and it was just asked of me to just kind of take a video and reach out to him. But something in my mind told me just to try and get him on FaceTime, get the chat with him, and I got the pleasure to do so. And it was a quick call, but it was well worth it. and I just want to say my thoughts and prayers for him and his family. Just finding out some news about him today. So may God rest his soul.
Oh.
And he
Yeah, so
cries.
Oh.
He goes on to cry. Like,
the what was your
this is
viewpoint of
you know,
Why you do that, Joe? Why?
the onions
It's the
up in here.
beginning. You should have saved that shit for the end of the show, man. Come on now.
I mean, right? Like, this is how can you not root for that guy? You
Yeah.
know, this is he
Yeah,
just
that's a good
won
brother.
the most historic comeback in NBA Finals history, and the first thing he wants to do, and I
Yeah.
just gotta shout that out. That's a good soul. Again, it feels like medicine that we have
Yeah.
good people. You know, it's a good contrast. I usually cry at the end of the show. Now I'm crying at the beginning. But
Just so you're getting it out of
yeah.
the way.
What? Yeah.
You can re-up. You can re-up later on, if
Okay,
you
good. Yeah. Oh,
feel
well, we're gonna be
so
laughing at the end of
inclined,
this one.
maybe.
Yeah. But so we've covered the Knicks, and because both of us are huge Knicks fans, and so
Oh, yeah.
this is it's a great story.
Tremendous.
Tremendous. It's so good. It's so good. And you know what? Like, I'm not going to put this out into the universe, but even if this goes to 7 and something terrible happens, I've had the most magical experience just being able to feel this. My whole family watches these games together. My kids never do anything together anymore, and they sit and watch these games. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's very
Yeah.
cool. But we're gonna pivot to moving on to news things other than sports news.
Mhm.
Because shithead woke up this morning and he's like, we're gonna bomb Iran really bad, and we're gonna take Karg Island, and he starts talking about basically putting troops on the ground. And one of the things that he said was that he doesn't know that the American people have the stomach for it. The stomach for it. The stomach for troops on the ground in Iran on Karg Island where they would be sitting ducks. He's a sociopath, and he's talking about it like it's a fucking violent TV show that's too strong for some people to watch.
Why would the American people have the stomach for something that he described as we can make a fortune there? And in the same exact sentence, he was like, we could make a fortune. He's like, but I don't think the American people, like, yeah, you're talking about sending people's sons and brothers and daughters and fathers and mothers, and you're sending people's family out to get killed. So it's not us people making a fortune. It's you and your cronies and your big oil CEO friends and all of that making money. That's let me see if I'm pretty sure I have that clip. Sam just asked me if I can shoot that over.
Look,
Oh,
my
and
preference has always been take Karg Island.
I found it.
Brian knows that. I spoke to him a long time ago. Lawrence knows it. I spoke to him a long time ago. I said my preference would be that. I don't know that America has the stomach for it, to be honest with
There
you.
it
You're
is.
going to make a fortune. But I don't know that America has the stomach. I think they'd like to see us come home. But we did it with Venezuela. Venezuela's worked out great for everybody. We've taken millions and millions of barrels of oil out of Venezuela. We've brought them to Houston and various other places, Louisiana, where refineries that we have that are incredible. They're going 24 hours a day.
Joe, the same exact, like right after. I don't know if Americans have the stomach. He says we'll make a fortune. Like that's his only concern. He's not
Well,
concerned about people's kids. He's
no.
concerned about a fortune.
Yeah. And he said they'd like to see us come home. Yeah. This is a deeply, deeply unpopular war that you don't have congressional approval for. It's
Still.
unconstitutional. It's illegal. You say it's
Mhm.
not a war in one breath, and the next breath you say it is a war, and then the next breath you say it's a ceasefire, and the next breath we lose an Apache helicopter, which, by the
Yeah.
way, while that was ongoing, while those pilots that he downplayed and said it's nothing, while all of that was unfolding, where was he? Stuffing his fat fucking face with pizza and French fries before his nighttime nap at MSG. If
Yeah.
Joe Biden had been doing that while we were losing an Apache helicopter and the pilots of
wouldn't.
that aircraft were floating, bobbing in the sea or wherever the heck they were, they would have
Mhm.
Fox News would have been running that shit. They would have been
Yeah.
calling for his head. But Donald Trump downplays it, goes to a game, ruins the game, but nonetheless, and this is the way that he talks about human life. Don't have the stomach for it. Again,
Mhm.
this is a sociopath. He's a sadistic sociopath. George Conway, other people have been diagnosing this for a long time. You can't be that disassociative with death. That
Yeah.
you're the one who is putting these people in these positions. You're the one responsible for sending them. And he talks about it. I really think it's like a TV show. Because last night I was at a softball party and I was like, I don't like violent shows, but for some reason I can watch period violent shows. Like I can watch Game of Thrones, I can watch stuff with Vikings, I can watch, but I
Yeah.
can't watch like Saw. It's not like we're talking about like I just don't have the stomach for that show. We're talking
Well, that's
about
torture.
people
That's
dying.
torture horror. Saw
Yeah,
is
I don't like
yeah,
that
it's
stuff.
like very, very different.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
I don't like any gratuitous violence, but Donald Trump doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't see human beings as of any value beyond what they offer him. And when he says we'd get rich, we'd make a fortune, he's not talking
Mhm.
about us. He's talking
No.
about him, himself,
Yeah.
his spawn. That's it. That's all he cares about. And that's all that motivates him. And, troops be damned. He keeps downplaying the 13 or 14, I think it is now, that we've lost in this fucking illegal war. Only 13, he said repeatedly. Only.
That's a disgrace. Sam just had a graphic up on the screen. So almost as soon as
Oh, yeah.
almost as soon as he declared more strikes, he's like, and I'm done. No more strikes. So this is once again blatant market manipulation, and also more proof that he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I just had Malcolm Nance on the Defiant Weekly
Oh, nice.
last night, and he had a lot of stuff to say about what's going on in with this Iran war. And what was surprising to me, if I were to ask you, Joe,
Mhm.
who do you think is calling the shots in the Iran war? Which country? Which country would you say?
It's obviously Israel. I mean, this whole thing is Israel.
That's
It's
what I
Israel.
would have said. That's not what he said.
Oh, Russia,
Nope.
China,
Yes. No.
Saudi
Iran.
Arabia. Oh, I thought you meant
Iran.
for us dictating our approach to it.
No, just
Oh, yeah.
dictating what happens,
yeah, they have all
what
the
is the
cards.
outcome of the war. He said Iran has all the cards. I was like, really? He was like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they have all the cards. And
Yeah.
it's become a kind of thing. It's like a war of attrition where it costs it is costing us more to stay in there than it's costing Iran. Iran, sure, you're hitting some of their military weapons and some buildings and stuff. Yeah, it's costing lives. Yeah, but
Mhm.
Iran is kind of like used to like
Hmm.
having to hunker down for like decades. They've been sanctioned, right?
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
they're living with suffering.
Well,
So that's already their what do you call their base. That's what they know. They know that well. But we Americans, we don't have the tolerance, and Trump doesn't have the political capital to stay in there and for prices to continue to skyrocket. And for what? What is your goal? What are you achieving with this?
Mm.
Why haven't you informed the American public of these?
Mhm.
Why haven't you gone to Congress with this? It's
Right.
all a joke. And it's just hibbity bibbity bop. Every week it's a different thing. And I'm going to jerk your chain on Friday afternoon and
Mm.
say everything is great. We've got a deal in 2 or 3 days. Wash, rinse, and repeat next
Mm.
week.
Right. Well, you got to the heart of so much of it. First of all, they hold all the cards because they also, much like Trump, don't give a fuck. They murdered 40,000 of their own people. They don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. You want to blow up their bridges? You want to blow up their infrastructure? You want to make their skies literally rain black
Mm.
metal or whatever that was. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. They do not care about their people. The core IRGC folks, they're fine. You know what I mean? They don't need to worry about the people of Iran. There's 90 million of them, by the way. This is not Venezuela. Donald Trump uses Venezuela as the example. I think you're right.
Very
I think
different.
I actually don't think he ever had an exit. I know he never had an exit strategy, but I think a lot of this was designed to enrich himself and his spawn and his friends, because the longer we're in this, the more the defense contracts that go to his, Ure and Kuse, the more money they make. Whatever the fuck is happening with the market manipulation, and it is, yes, it is being a chaos agent, but
Yeah.
the target is always moving, and Iran not only has shown the world you don't need a nuke. All you need is some drones and some strategic mines, and just not giving a fuck about what happens to your people. Trump can threaten to bomb them all day long. They don't care.
And the Strait. Let's not forget the Strait, because they didn't have. I mean, technically, they had the Strait before all this unfolded, but they weren't using it the way they're using it now. And it's almost like if Donald Trump hadn't decided to let Israel drag his stupid ass into this war, Iran the Strait would be open. Business. It would be business as usual.
Yeah.
But so now he has to make some capitulations in order for them to agree. And it's so funny. He was like, "You have no cards." Actually, we have all of them.
All of them.
We have all the
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Ye-
Oh yeah.
It is, and it's sad, because this is depleting our weapon stockpiles. This is endangering our troops. It is endangering our allies. We've seen,
Yeah.
Iran strike Kuwait's airports, etc. And nothing is off the table with Trump, and nothing is beyond the pale for Hegseth, who will do whatever he says. So if they want to start committing war crimes because they fucking want to, they will. Hegseth said that yesterday. By the way, Trump keeps saying today, "Oh, people don't know this. Even Iran doesn't know this, but we've been getting oil out of the straits." Yeah, I don't think our gas stations know this, folks, because my gas prices yesterday, I filled up. It was $4.25 a gallon here in
Mm,
Jersey for regular. But
mm,
yeah, this is, where the fuck is Congress, right? Like, how
yeah.
many times do they have to say the word war, and then say it's not a war, it's a war, it's not a war, before this gets to the point where he is putting our soldiers on that Carg Island, and what will happen after that is a catastrophe. So I'm praying that somehow we can end this shit. I don't see an exit strategy, and I don't see an exit
Why
plan.
why is anybody even giving him any credibility? And listen, why is anyone giving him any credence? Like
Mm,
we're all paying attention to the same fucked up show. It's the
yeah.
same 2 or 3 days every week, dude. He
Mm,
said it 37 or 38
38
times now.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, how many times does he have to lie to our faces for people to
Hmm.
get the clue? Like, no information that comes from him is trustworthy. You have to verify from some other source
Yeah.
because it's all bullshit. He'll sit in his press briefings and just tell lie after lie, whether it's
Mhm.
the big election lie that he's pitching. Have you noticed, Joe, that he's been like full court press on the you can't
Yeah.
trust these election results.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, whether it's California, for instance, he thinks
Mhm.
that Republicans have a shot at winning
Mhm.
in California. Come on.
Right, right.
Um, but
Yeah.
he's lying nonstop, and it's been a crisis, and it remains a crisis that we cannot trust a word that comes out of our commander in chief.
Uh,
That should be a big red flag, and
yeah. Well, speaking of red flags and speaking of not trusting him, another story that broke yesterday was Maggie Haberman, lover or whatever you think about Maggie Haberman. And boy, do I have a complicated relationship with my thoughts about Maggie Haberman. I like
yeah.
Jonathan Swan a lot, but Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan have a book coming out. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but uh, I don't know the name of it, but this story broke yesterday in the New York Times. Inside the White House, freak out over the Epstein files. The president's top advisors gathered in a series of situation room meetings as they struggled to contain a scandal engulfing Donald Trump himself.
Oof.
Whoa, wait a minute. So what they talk about in this article and what is in the book, they have lots of sources that Donald Trump will say are fake news because they're off the record, etc.
Mhm.
for about a year and a half. Um, yeah. Oh, actually, let's play that clip, Sam, because I think Stansberry explains this better than I could.
She's
Let's play
great.
her
The
clip.
New York Times published some remarkable new reporting on how the Epstein files essentially paralyzed the White House. There's a lot to unpack in the article, and a lot more than we have time for right now. But it essentially detailed how the president's inner circle struggled to try to handle the Epstein saga as if it were a national security level crisis, including strategizing the Situation Room. I'm wondering what your reaction was to that.
Well, I think this is President Trump's Watergate moment. This New York Times article is absolutely explosive. It documents months-long saga in which the highest level officials, including the president, the vice president, the chief of staff, the head of the FBI, the head of the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, and the senior communications officials colluded inside the Situation Room, essentially to break the law, to defy congressional subpoenas, and to bury the Epstein case and the investigation into it. I believe that this ultimately could be part of what takes Donald Trump down, because it is very clear that they intended to break the law and that they used the White House grounds to strategize to do that with the highest level officials. And many of those officials testified in front of Congress under oath during that time and lied directly to Congress about what they knew about this case.
I feel like our shock meters are busted because it, I mean, my shock meter remains intact. It is shocking to hear that an entire administration was colluding to conceal a major scandal involving pedophilia and the president of the United States.
Mhm.
That's a humongous scandal. They were meeting to decide which lies can we tell
Yep.
to hide this from the public. That is what it is. So
Yep.
why is this, excuse me, not a bigger story?
I wrote about this today. It's shocking to me. This is the question every reporter should be asking. It's shocking to me that this isn't the first thing that they're asking of every single one of them. JD
Yeah.
Vance, Susie Wiles,
Mhm.
Todd Blanche.
Yeah.
There's this story in that piece about JD Vance, about this one particular allegation that some people in that room had not been aware of, that we've been aware of since at least 2023. I think that it was the first time I ever saw these unsealed documents in the Maxwell case related to a secondhand reporting of a woman who said that someone who Donald Trump raped, a young woman, a young female, potentially underage, raped
Mhm.
at Epstein's mansion in New York City, had complained to her that he mutilated her nipples, that they were raw and injured, that he did that, and there was this whole nipple fetish. So this story is in the fucking Situation Room, the Situation Room, where like that's where you go. It's
Mm.
like there's a nuclear attack. That's where you go when you're planning in the attack on Bin Laden. This is a very the
Yeah.
high most secure room that we basically have, and they're talking about whether or not they should go public ahead of this story with Donald Trump mutilating a young woman's nipples. And JD Vance advocates for going on the offense. Why? Because it's not the worst thing that people have said about Trump. They've said far worse things about him. So this isn't nearly as bad as those things. So we should just put this out there and then we go on offense. Just fucking think about that. All the
Mm.
layers here of using the Situation Room and all of these very high level officials who, by the way, our tax dollars pay, sitting in that room deliberating and debating about how to protect Donald Trump from the revelations about his involvement with a pedophile. And you know what they never once discussed? Not one fucking time?
What's that?
Actual accountability. The people who actually perpetrated those crimes. They never one fucking time talked about the survivors. They never talked about justice for them. They never talked about accountability or consequences for the fucking pedophiles who raped them. Not one time. That room was used to protect Donald Trump. That's it, period. End of story. This should be the biggest scandal in the fucking world right now.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is about what to what you were saying about the accountability. And when you say about accountability, I'm assuming you're talking about other people other than Donald Trump, right? Like other people in the
Yeah.
Epstein files.
Like they've
Yeah,
had all over the world by now.
yeah, the reason why they're not pursuing that is because there's that whole mutual destruction thing,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because you go after me, oh, then you coming with me. If I gotta go down, then you're gonna go down. We're gonna make
Mhm.
sure everybody has a bath in this in
Mhm.
this in this murky shit. And it is disgusting. The victims are so far the only ones who have been exposed.
Yeah.
They've been intentionally exposed by the DOJ. The DOJ that claimed to be taking extreme steps to protect the identities of these women. A lot of them, their identities just poof, been exposed, but not the clients. The
Right.
clients, not the pedos, not the criminals, the abusers, the assaulters. None of them, the rapists. None of them have been exposed. So there is something very deliberate going on here. That exposing of those women, that was more of a threat. That was
Mhm.
more to tell them to shut the hell up and let this story go by in the news cycle. And I'm absolutely disgusted by it. The only thing I think that is going to remedy this is getting Democrats back in power in Congress, so they
Mhm.
have subpoena power, so that they
Mhm.
can actually start subpoenaing
Mhm.
subpoenaing
Yeah.
people, and get it all out in the open, all of it
Yeah.
uncovered. And if Donald Trump has to go to jail, then he has to go to jail. It doesn't bother me, not at all,
No, hell no.
not a bit.
I I mean, think about the lengths that they have gone to now across the board. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on Caitlin Collins on CNN last night, and she was talking about this because she was not surprised. But the thing that ended her relationship with Donald Trump wasn't that she wasn't loyal enough on all of his policies. It wasn't that she wasn't loyal enough about January 6th or the 2020 election or any of that. It was that she pushed for the release of the Epstein files.
Yep.
That's exactly what it was for him and Thomas Massey. That's exactly what it was for him and Nancy Mace. By the way, congratulations,
Mhm.
Nancy Mace. You're now the Riley Gaines of gubernatorial
She came in
Republican
fifth.
primaries.
I love that for her so
I
much. She's
still
such
love
a
that for
horrible
her.
person. She
Horrible
is
person. And she
trash.
fucked
God
around
damn
and
it.
found out. And by the way, everything Donald Trump touches dies. And he didn't endorse her. He endorsed her opponent who fucking won. But again, it's worth pointing out that for all of those people, what they had in common was that they signed on early to releasing the Epstein files. And Donald Trump was so angry about that, so
Mhm.
betrayed by that, that he cut them all out, right? He forced
Yeah.
Marjorie to resign early. Thomas Massey, they spent billions of dollars in that race to get him out. He's going after Lauren Boebert, who was one of the others, and Nancy Mace. So why would he do that? Why would he be so angry about the Epstein files being released if he wasn't implicated in it? And if he wasn't implicated in it, why is all of his inner circle in the fucking bunker in the White House trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to protect his ass from
Yeah.
accountability?
Yeah. Also, let's keep in mind that Marjorie Taylor Greene. I just saw a clip today where she was recounting that Trump warned that if these files get out, like his friends will be hurt.
Yeah.
She said this numerous times. She
Yes.
actually called him a traitor.
Yeah.
She called him a traitor in this clip, which I found very interesting for someone who was such a big, believer in Trump. She's done a complete 180 on him. I still don't like her. I
Oh
don't
no.
trust her,
Oh no.
but I do believe that she is telling the truth about this whole Trump thing, because she went from being like the MAGA darling of that party to be
Mhm.
completely on the outside.
Yeah.
And with the threats she's gotten, death
Mhm.
threats, and her family, whatever. So she has no reason to continue talking other
Right.
than she wants to get this stuff out there.
Agreed. And she was on Piers Morgan right before I was a couple weeks ago, and that's when she also said that thing about how Trump screamed at her. there are other people in the room, by the way, who can corroborate this, that it would hurt his friends, that it would hurt people she knew, she said. But there's this other story that I found fascinating as well, which was she called him after that and said, look, my son is getting death threats. Can you put a stop to this? Can you, call off the dogs? And he said, no. He said, it's just your fault. Look, you did this. You did this to yourself. She was talking about her child being killed. And because of the way that he was stoking hatred against her, and he told her basically, you made your own bed. Like, just think about, like, again, going back to the sadist and the sociopath. But this story, by the way, no matter what he would like for to be the case, it's not going away. This is still polling extremely high. It's polling ahead of like immigration for many folks in both parties. That people don't like this. They don't like his handling of this. Again, it's one of his broken promises. It's a betrayal. They ran on this. Pam Bondi said she had the names on her desk. People are pissed, and it's not going away. And I think we should continue to talk about it every day. Like I said, it's my Substack today. You can check that out. But it's not going away. I think we have to talk about it every single day. Just like, to get to this before we have to go, I think the Democrats have an ad. They have an ad that they need to run 24/7.
Ooh, can I guess? Can I guess what it is?
Wait. Anybody have any guesses? Anybody? Brooklyn, did you say you had a guess?
Yes, I do. It will be inflation.
Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, I love this. What did Donald Trump say yesterday about inflation?
He said, I love the inflation. And so somebody, it was a reporter in this press briefing, asked him, what do you think about the new inflation numbers? The inflation numbers, folks, that came out was 4.2. Last month, it was 3.5. So you don't have to be an expert in math to know that 4.2 is higher than 3.5. It means the inflation is going the wrong direction, not the right direction. When he was elected under the premise that he was going to reduce prices on day one. Not only that, he said your utility bills would be cut, what? In half.
Mm-hmm.
In half after 1 year. Now, not only are they not cut in half, they are 30% higher, at least for me. But he had the audacity to come out and said, when they asked, what do you think of these numbers? He says, I love the numbers. Yeah, the numbers are great. I love the inflation. And then he proceeded to talk about how they're stealing Iranian oil because they don't know, and we took out all of their radar equipment. What the fuck does that have to do with why you love inflation, son of a bitch? What does that have to do with anything? Huh? Joe?
Oh, we have the clip.
That's a gift.
President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning. Could that be a
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know?
Nobody knows it.
Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships. Late at night with no lights, because they don't have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look.
See, Joe, that's what he does. He does that all the time. You ask him a direct question, and he does his weave just so you can forget about what the fuck you originally asked him. Then he moves on to the next reporter. But what Lawrence O'Donnell said last night was brilliant. He compared it to a salesperson, right? Like a real estate guy. Like a real estate guy. You come to look at the apartment, and you see that the window has no view, as a view of a brick wall. And he says, you know what I love about that brick wall? I love the fact that, the sunlight doesn't mess with you in the morning. Oh, you get to sleep. And then it talks about something completely different to make you forget about the fact that he's trying to sell you an apartment that looks at a brick wall.
Yeah. So he'd be like, if that guy was saying, oh yeah, that looks at a brick wall. But the thing I love the most about this view of a brick wall is every now and then a unicorn comes in. A unicorn comes into your apartment and shits gold. And it shits gold, and then it talks in tongues, and then it cleans your whole house and gives you a blowjob. And I love that. You don't know that. Many people don't know that. People don't talk about that. But big, strong men, they come up to me with tears in their eyes and they say, sir, that cock-sucking, gold-shitting unicorn has been in the corner of my apartment that has a window that faces a brick wall. You know what? I never think about that brick wall, sir. My favorite part of this apartment is not my view of a brick wall. It's my gold-shitting, blowjob-giving, tongue-talking unicorn. And the press goes, tell us more about the unicorn. What's this unicorn? Like, it's fucking insane. It's the bananagrams. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Stop chasing the shiny fucking object and stick to the goddamn question. Inflation is 4.2%. It is higher than it has been since 2023. It is moving in the wrong direction. I don't give a fuck about what magical secret, Lucky Charm bullshit lie you want to tell me about how nobody knows about the secret oil that we're squeezing out of the strain. My gas station doesn't know. You know who else doesn't know? My electric bill doesn't know. My pizza guy doesn't know because a fucking pizza is $22. Nobody else knows. So I don't give a fuck about how many lies and stories you tell. I know what shit is costing me right now. And nobody but the press is falling for this shit. And it drives me crazy. Stop going to these things if you're not actually going to do the due diligence and ask the fucking follow-up questions. The American people are busy. Our healthcare premiums are through the roof. Our utilities are through the roof. Our just daily cost of living is through the roof, and there's no relief in sight. Stop taking the shiny fucking object lie and ask the fucking follow-up question, or don't be in the room.
Can I tell you that the $22 pizza pie? It's very real. I think mine is like 21 or 22, and it's insane because I remember when you could get a pie for $10.
Like,
I do remember that.
You could get two. You could get two pies. I remember 2 pies for $15.99 when my kids were little. Two medium pies, but still 2 pizzas for $16. And you got a 2-liter of soda on Wednesdays.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Right? And sometimes you got garlic knots for depending on the place. Yes, $22 for By the way, I was telling you about shrimp. Like, it's insane. Shrimp prices like almost $30 a pound for shrimp. I don't know what the heck shrimp have to do with the Strait of Hormuz, other than obviously wherever the fuck the shrimp are coming from, the boats or whatever is transporting them are probably paying more for oil and everything else. And so I'm now paying. Well, I'm not buying shrimp, but I would be paying more for shrimp.
The shrimp, they have to navigate their way through the mines. Right? That's why it's so expensive. There's a hazard pay that the shrimps get.
Yeah. But with our last few minutes, we need a laugh. I think we need to laugh. I mean, other than the gold-shitting, filleting, tongue-talking unicorn.
That was a good one, by the way. You just pulled that out of your ass.
I don't know why I kept looking to the side in my office. Like there's like I'll be like looking at an imaginary unicorn that's just sitting there over by my water. Like, oh,
I was wondering.
Well, if I start seeing it, please do something. But this is real. This is very real. Folks, I shit you fucking not. I shit you not. The UFC fight, the Temu Gladiator Games being hosted on the south lawn of our house right now.
That's this weekend, right?
Yeah, I think the weather forecast still calling for rain, but the house that they've turned into, I liken it now to like Six Flags over pedophilia. If you had like a trash hoarding meth addict as the interior designer, that's what it looks like one of those claw machines, like meets like a playpen. This is the trashy ass shit that they have done, but this is the chef's kiss. Look at that sponsor. Who is
Bud Light? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Bud Light the company that MAGA was all up in arms about because they did an ad for a trans woman? Am I wrong?
They gave a single solitary can. Here's Kid Rock himself in all his former star glory.
Say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible.
Guy is so stupid.
So stupid. Okay. Yeah. See. Oh. Nope. Yeah.
So stupid.
I mean, congratulations, you fucking mouth-breathing amosexual. You just spent $60 to shoot some fucking woke beer that will never
Yeah.
hurt you. It's not going to turn you gay. It's not going to turn you trans. What Bud Light did, their grave mistake was to make one commemorative can for one transgender influencer and give it to
Mhm.
her. That's it.
Yeah.
She did a thing. That was it. That was all it took. And then, oh my God, you've seen it. They blew it up. They ran it over. They dry humped it. They slapped it on the ass. They called it cousin. They did everything they could to destroy all the Bud Light they bought, which is hilarious.
Mhm.
And it's such a
Yeah.
self-own. And they were like calling it estrogen juice. And now that same
It's their
beer,
sponsor.
it's sponsoring. By the way, here's the other chef's kiss. It's
So
sponsoring
great.
an event where some oiled up, bohunky abs, my pronouns are meat and meat dudes, are going to be like rear-ending each other to cheers and great applause from the same dudes who said the beer that is sponsoring the event makes you gay. It's like you
Have
just
you
can't.
have you noticed how often these days Donald Trump is like describing like
Yeah.
big meaty men as like, that
Yeah.
guy's really good looking.
Oh God.
He's got a great body. I forgot to touch his leg. His leg is really hard. Like, dude, what the fuck? What are you like? I'm not kink shaming the guy, right? If you got a thing about, big hairy men with hard legs and you got to touch the leg, hey, give the man a hard
mind.
leg to touch, right? Let him touch it. Big burly guy with tears in his eyes. Please, sir, please, my leg. Wait, that's not my leg.
Oh my God. I've seen two things that I want to add to that. There's two accounts on Instagram that I love. I can't think of either of their names. But one is a gay guy who does what was her name? The girl who used to always do the dubbing. What the
Sarah Cooper.
Sarah Cooper. So he does
Yeah.
it with Trump's like overtly like weird, like homoerotic.
Oh, I've seen that dude.
Oh, it's
I
so
don't know his
funny.
name.
So, and then
Yeah,
there's
he's
another
good.
guy who always says he's a home care specialist or something. He's a bald guy. He's got a Southern accent. And he's always talking about what's going on with Trump's health. And he said that one of the things that happens to dementia patients is that they lose a filter, right? Like they don't have a filter anymore. And some other parts of their brain start like just taking over and they say shit out loud that they never said before out loud because that there was some mechanism in their brain that stopped them. And that's degrading. It's degrading now. So he's losing that kind of filter that stops him from being so overtly like, ooh, look at you. I hate handsome men. I hate handsome men. You're a big, strong guy. I'd hate to come up against you in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like disinhibition. Thank you, Greg. Disinhibition. I don't have the big fancy words, but that is it.
Ooh.
And that's what they're saying. Look, I will say this in my life, something that has always been true is that the people who are the most fucking hateful, the most bigoted, the most homophobic have the most fucking shit to hide. It's like every
Yeah.
time you see another one of those MAGA idiots that's a fucking pedophile,
Mhm.
that's they're the ones who are always screaming about everybody else. So
Yeah.
look, again, no shame in that game. I think whatever you're into, as long as it's consensual and whatever you want to do it. But for Donald Trump to be inspiring and motivating other people to have anti-LGBTQ thoughts is insane because
Joe,
you know
Joe, do you not also find it peculiar that there is like a restriction? There's a restriction against because apparently soldiers are supposed to be in the audience, right? Members of the military, but they cannot be overweight.
Yeah.
Isn't that peculiar, right? Considering the state that our president is in, I wouldn't call him svelte. I wouldn't even call him, chubby. I would say that dude is straight up in the obese category. But come on, these are the people serving our country, and you're going to hold it against them because they had an extra donut or two, huh? What the
and they
hell?
have to pay their own way. They have to get themselves there if they want to go. But see, it's all the
that's
show.
bullshit.
It's all about the spectacle. Again, here we are hosting this, small in the pants palooza. While Americans cannot afford their medicine. They can't afford their health care. Our hospitals are
Yeah.
closing. People are losing their jobs. Small businesses are having to shut down and declare bankruptcy. Just everyday life is much harder. I was listening to NPR the other morning, and there was this couple who moved out to Oregon to be near their grandkids, and they are on a very fixed income. They don't have extra money, and they were planning on doing like this like tour of the Pacific Northwest via their car. And they're like, we can't do any of that. We have to budget just to get to the grocery store because of the gas. I mean, this
Yeah.
is the world that regular folks are living in, and they're doing this flashy bullshit, wrestling match on the South Lawn, and it's just all about the spectacle. It's all about the show. It's all about the distraction. It's really all The Apprentice, which we know this. That was a myth, a lie. That wasn't even a real boardroom. It was all
They were
fake.
I've heard people making a reference to I guess it's Roman times when they were talking about bread and
Yes, bread and
circuses, like,
circuses.
and that's how you distract
Yeah.
the populace when they would normally be focused on why their lives are so miserable.
Yep,
Like,
exactly.
but UFC on the White House lawn, woohoo!
It's
Bud
exactly
Light,
what
give
it
me
is.
here, pass the Bud Light.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm gay. Oh, how'd that happen? That's exactly what it is, Brooklyn. That is exactly what it is. I mean, like history may not repeat itself, but it certainly does rhyme. And Donald Trump is not original. We've seen this character throughout the course of time, and this moment that we're in is unique to us, absolutely. But it is also, it's just a reiteration of so many things we've seen in the past, and they always end up the same way. This guy's awesome, by the way. Bryce Mitchell, our government is desecrating its role in society by entertaining sports. Our government is to protect and serve the people. Our tax dollars and resources are funding this operation. The government is supposed to protect us, not
Hmm.
entertain
Yeah.
us. And that's a UFC fighter right there. I don't know anything about UFC
Oh,
fights.
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that. Oh.
yeah. I mean, he's right. And again, like it's also very diminishing to our home to have, these corporate sponsored events, and that's our house. That's the people's house. He doesn't get to unilaterally decide to make it all tawdry and turn it into a fucking theme park.
I saw there's another UFC fighter. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. I think he's popular. Somebody in the audience might know who I'm talking about, but he has been banned from this UFC event at the White House because he spoke out one time too many against Israel.
Oh.
Yeah. And he put out
Oh.
this video. He's like, and it was like a long video too. He was going off. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry that, I said blah, blah, blah about Israel and blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't pro-Israel enough and blah, blah, blah. I mean, he was just going off. Yeah,
I'd
it's
say with
interesting that,
the free speech absolutists, right? The First Amendment absolutists that are like, oh no, we're going to cancel you for saying something we don't like.
yeah, yeah.
But Jackson Dart can say whatever he wants. So let's see how that works. Jackson
He
Dart's a
fucked up
hero.
he
Right.
fucked up the Giants for me, man.
I know. I'm struggling with that. But we
Really?
forgot. Yeah, yeah. We forgot. And all the stuff that's going on. We have the World Cup obviously coming here now, and there have been all these horrific stories about people and players. The Senegalese players were treated like fucking criminals, and then there was a
Mm.
ref who was not allowed to come here to officiate in Canada, by the way, has said, okay,
Yeah.
he can come here. And then this morning, Mark Wayne Mullen, whatever the fuck his name is, God, it's like
Mark
that
Wade
guy,
Mullen, that's right.
yeah, he's dumber than fucking dirt, man. Like I have a plastic house plant that I am positive is smarter than that guy. He's
He's barely literate. Yeah.
right. He said we won't let people in if there's a perception of them having ties to criminals.
That's idiotic. It's so stupid.
He was talking
It
about the
was
color of their
this,
skin. Yeah.
right?
Somali
Somali
referee.
referees.
Maybe it was the Somalis, or I think it was Senegal that they had out on the tarmac. Yeah. This is and they're doing this to people trying to come here to just watch the games too, where they're not letting them in. There are hotels that planned on being booked solid all over the place that are not, because people, first of all, they don't have much of an appetite to come here. They don't have a stomach for it, so to speak, to
You
borrow
mean
a
they don't
phrase.
want to risk being thrown into an unmarked van by masked men? What?
Shocker, they don't have a stomach for
What?
it. Who could have guessed? Right?
You did that. You brought it back. The stomach.
It's seriously, like,
That's
I
good.
mean, and it's sad to me. It's sad in a lot of ways because my dad got a soccer scholarship to college. Soccer has been a big part of my life.
Hmm.
I didn't play it because I didn't have a real talent for it. I was a field hockey player. But it's always been a part of my life. I mean, I grew up worshiping Pele. If you remember the movie
Oh, yeah.
Victory.
Bicycle kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, we had the, Cosmos here. Like, I love soccer. I've always wanted to go to a World Cup match so much. And now it's here, and Trump's kind of, like, cast this fucking orange cloud over everything, and it
Like he did with
sucks.
the Knicks game.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Everything he touches, he fucks up.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
everything Trump touches dies. Hashtag ETTD.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's Rick Wilson's quote. But it's sad. It's true. We have a choice, to not let him ruin everything. Like what I really wanted to take away from that game the other night was that even though they lost, like he can't actually dim the light of that team. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And we have a choice. We get to
Mhm.
decide how much power to give him in that
Yeah.
regard, right?
Yeah.
And I wish that it wasn't casting a pall over the World Cup, but also I think tickets are $5,000 a piece. So it's like, no thanks.
No.
Yeah. I think they're almost as much as a pizza.
No, seriously, $5,000?
That's what I
Is that for
heard.
the expensive seats or
I know.
cheap
I didn't
seats?
even look because
Sick.
I heard
Yeah,
that.
Who do
So
these people think are,
I know, but
are walking? Is everybody just have that kind of disposable cash? That's
apparently,
insane.
I guess they're selling a lot of pizza. I don't know. Yeah, and like, well, the Knicks tickets were also disgusting, and it's
Don't
just
even
like,
get me started. That was
yeah.
disgraceful.
Yeah,
Disgraceful.
it really is. And then Mamdani has done some good stuff where he actually has he secured tickets for people in New York, so that they were very inexpensive so that they could go. I think that's awesome. I heard.
Sam, throw that comment up there by Petra Roach 8510. One Cup event has 176,000 tickets to resell because people are not coming.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
It's something interesting because Dog Prowl Helm 7630 also mentions the 250th. That's the other thing that's bothering me. Like I'm one of those. I cry the national anthem. Like I'm one of those who, stands up and sings all the patriotic songs. I fly a flag. I love that shit. Right. Well, yeah. But he's cast a pall over our 250th, in my opinion, because he's making
Yep.
everything about himself.
Mhm.
And he's so divisive, and also he's trying to it's a cash grab, which is gross, but like
Yep.
I love this country and the potential that this country has. Again, this country, my dad came to our shores as a teenager seeking a better life, and this country provided, and he always wanted to repay that, and so he worked for the Department of Defense for his whole adult life, and like I believe in this country and love the ideals of this country, but like I don't really feel as patriotic this 250th as I felt in the past because his slimy fucking little fingers are all over everything.
Yeah, it's that I dig exactly what you're saying. Me personally, I feel like because he's put so much focus on himself and his
Mhm.
birthday, it feels like
Mhm.
he's trying to blend the two. He's trying to bastardize this 250th anniversary. It's
Yes.
Donald Trump's 250th anniversary birthday 80th party. You know?
Yep.
That jackass. Come on, man. Can't we have one thing, bro? Can you have to
No.
be so fucking selfish? The 14th is his birthday, right?
No, maybe.
Wait.
Yes. It's right before mine. Yes. And by the way, fucking Hegseth is a Gemini
Yours
too.
is the 17th, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
It is the 17th. Thank you for remembering that. I will be at a Yankees game, with my kids. But and Hegseth is a Gemini because he just had a birthday. I'm like, all these fucking Geminis. By the
Mm.
way, fun fact, two things. To make it the me Trump show, the arch that he's trying to build, he wants it done so that he can see it while he's still president, while he's still alive and somewhat functioning. He's going to have them, then again, not approved. He wants them building 20 hours a day.
Yep.
20 hours a day. And then the other
I
fun
saw
fact
that.
is the reflecting pool, not a pond, it's not a lake, it's not a river, it's not actually a skyscraper. No matter what you do with it, you can't stand it up. Nobody
What's
gives a
as
fuck.
tall as a skyscraper, no?
Did you see that it's covered in algae again?
No.
Yeah. It's just a different. It's just American flag algae now.
Oh my God.
Because the problem wasn't the surface. That wasn't the problem. It was built by like the freaking I don't know. People didn't have technology. It was built in like the 20s or some shit. It's
Oh,
never
isn't it
been.
the pipes? Is there some
Yes.
pipes on the inside,
Yes.
right? That yeah.
Yes. So it's also DC in the summer, right? And swampy, and it's and Sam's gotta go, so we gotta wrap. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
already getting filled with algae again. We spent 14 million American dollars on a job
Well
he
spent.
said was gonna cost 2 million that Mark Wayne Mullen's friends on a brand new company made a mint off of, and it didn't matter. It was for nothing. So
Yeah. Well, at least Donald Trump got a chance to wet his beak on that, and you know, yeah, I'm sure he got a kickback. In fact, I
on
am
all of it.
sure, I am 1,000% sure that all of these construction projects that he is deciding that are suddenly a priority,
Yep.
he's getting a kickback on every single one,
100%.
guaranteed. I can't prove it, but
100%.
I know it's true.
Well, remember, a lot of this stuff is anonymous. Like that they made sure that the donors to things that you couldn't see. We were
Mhm.
it's going to take us a generation or two to really get to the bottom of how much and how pervasive the corruption has been. The pardons, all these, like you said, these government contracts, his hand in everything. I mean, all the cabinet secretaries are doing it too. So it's
Mm,
the culture there because he does it. He wants them to do it. Just don't ever tether him to it like Christy Noem did because you're gone.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
all doing it. It's disgusting and it's heartbreaking. And real folks are really struggling right now, really struggling right now, and they're getting richer and richer and richer. The Epstein class. So anyway,
Mm. I
yeah,
keep forgetting to use that term. That's a good one to keep out there. Yeah.
it is.
It's because it's accurate. It is
Yeah,
accurate. Those people
hmm
that we were talking about who need to be held accountable, they are a class all themselves. Like they exist above us. They're in a
hmm
pay scale that's not even a real thing, and they have protection from people who have similar interests.
correct.
And you would think similar interests would be to protect children and to bring accountability to people who harm children. But no, that's their interest is to protect themselves
hmm
and their friends from scrutiny and from accountability for their crimes. And that is a damn shame.
Agreed. And seeing Lutnick courtside with this joyous, amazing, triumphant, beautiful, heartfelt, sweet team was crushing. Was absolute
Yeah.
Trump in the executive suite and Lutnick on the court. Like it's just these are men who've done very, very bad things, and they're
Mhm.
being rewarded with you know th- all the best stuff in the world. So fuck that and fuck them.
Yeah.
We'll have accountability. We just got to work for it, and we got to work
That's right.
tirelessly. Well, thank you to everybody in the chat as always. This was a lively one. We did get through quite a bit. There's always something to talk about, believe me. And by the way, we're gonna start building our YouTube. Yeah, look for the siren more on YouTube. That's some place we're really trying to concentrate on. You may be finding this there right now. I'm not sure. But we're gonna be growing that, and we'll be doing more lives. And then of course, we've got our Tuesday lives with Tara, Monday night lives with Tara and Kaivan. Brooklyn, you've got a live show tomorrow night.
No, last night.
Last night. Sorry. That was
Yeah.
Malcolm Nance was last night.
That's right. And next week is going to be Harry Siegel, who is one half of the fantastic Shrinking Trump team. These guys, these two psychologists were spending years just like diagnosing Donald Trump's dementia from afar. They had a great show. So I have him on next week.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that sounds great. We'll look for that. Where can people look for that, though? Tell them where to go.
Right here on the YouTube, or is this where is this? This is Substack?
Substack and
on,
YouTube.
On YouTube, God damn it, on the Defiant Weekly.
Awesome.
Or just look up Brooklyn Dad Defiant.
Well, thank you, Brooklyn, as always. Thank you to Sam, the man behind the
Thank
curtain.
you.
And thanks, everybody. Love seeing these comments in the chat. We will see you all. All right, see you later.